Don't just choose something because other people told you that it's profitable. That's not going to work in the long run. You have to choose something that you genuinely enjoy. So what I want to do is we're going to find your passions and interests, and we're going to directly link this to a niche. Welcome to Life Unlocked with Jet, where we talk about how you can become a high-ticket freelancer, live the laptop lifestyle, all things digital marketing, and of course also all the failures and lessons that I've learned in my journey becoming a self-made millionaire. I hope you enjoy and follow our podcast. Okay, so in today's episode, we will talk about the step-by-step guide on turning a digital skill into $1 million. This is Jet, and I'm known to be super blunt and honest as I'm from the Netherlands. And I just want to tell you before we dive into this episode that even though I have a multi-million-dollar business, this didn't happen overnight. It didn't start there. And it's important to say this because getting to $1 million definitely takes a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, and it is really not as easy as everyone makes it out to be online. Okay? Now, the thing that I want to tell you in this episode is that it is possible. I was just a regular girl from a Dutch town. I didn't have any experience as well when I started. But I took action and I started, okay? And now I didn't get to my first 6 figures, even in the first 2 years, okay? And now after working online for I think 7 years, I now have a multiple 7-figure business. But the one cool thing is that everything I did and all the successful things I have done online have always been around one thing. Because the cool thing is that if you're a newbie, the first part that I will tell you about is going to allow you to achieve 2 things, which is time freedom and location freedom. It's going to allow you to leave your 9 to 5 and to leave the job you hate and finally do something that aligns with your passions and your interest. If you're already a freelancer, then the middle part of what I'm going to tell you can allow you to have ultimate time freedom and create more of a passive business. And now if you already are at that stage at 6 figures, then the last part that I'm going to tell you can help you get to 7 figures. But the moral of the story here is that all the steps I'm going to tell you about, going from just replacing your income to 6 figures to 7 figures, this is all done with one thing: digital skills. So let's dive in. Step number 1. I want you to think about what you actually love doing. And this may sound super easy, but if you really dive into it, this can be quite confronting. Do you actually love your current job? Do you love what you do? Would you do it for free? If you could do anything, would you do what your current job has you do? If the answer is no, I want you to think about the following questions. What's your hobby? If you had all the time in the world and you didn't want to just sleep and lay in bed, what would you do? What would you do? What would you go out of your way to do that makes you happy? What hobby, what interest, instruments, sports, what activities? Secondly, you can ask yourself, if I'm scrolling on, for example, Pinterest, which is a very visual application, what type of things are you scrolling for? What are you looking at? And thirdly, let's dive deeper. What did you love doing when you were a kid? When you didn't care yet about who is judging you or who is gossiping about you or what other people think. When we were a kid, that was our true core of self. We were doing the things that we actually really loved and wanted to do, and we didn't care about what anyone else would think about them. Now, if you answer these questions and you roll up on some topics, that's amazing. If you're still a bit confused, it's also okay. But diving into this, writing about it, journaling about it, thinking about it, that's going to help you. Because what I'm a strong believer of is that any business you start, you have to love what you do. Because if you love what you do, you're going to make way much more money in the end. Trust me on this. Don't just choose something because other people told you that it's profitable. That's not going to work in the long run. You have to choose something that you genuinely enjoy. So what I want to do is we're going to find your passions and interests, and we're going to directly link this to a niche, to an industry. Okay, let me give you a few examples just to get your brain going. So let's say your parents are artists, and we have this person in our program. Your parents are artists, they paint or they make sculptures. You've grown up to be an artistic person. You love creative, you love drawing. Wow. How about we choose the niche of art? And what businesses do we have in this niche? Art galleries, artists, art collectors, so much more. Cool. That's one example. Example number 2, you are obsessed with the gym, health, nutrition, fitness. Okay, let's pick that niche. Let's go into the health niche, right? And in that, we can choose sub-niches of fitness, personal trainers, gyms, okay? Let's do another example. When you're on Pinterest, you keep scrolling for new interior designs and you keep scrolling for homeware and you love to decorate your home. Or maybe you are an interior designer and you studied that, but you still somehow got in 9 to 5. Boom. Let's pick that as your niche, interior design. Maybe you're passionate about real estate. Okay, let's do it. Think about what you enjoy and then we can link a niche to it. So that's the first step. Link your passion to a niche. Okay, now step number 2. Now we know which industry we're gonna look at, which niche. Now I want you to write down the businesses that you can think of within that niche. So like I said, in the art niche, there are independent artists, there are art collectors, we have art galleries, art galas, art foundations, you name it, right? So what businesses are inside of that? And now when we have that, I want you to think about what services do they need online? What do these business owners, what does their business need to grow? What type of services do they need? And also what things do they not need? So let's say, let me give a really clear example. It doesn't make sense to learn augmented reality if your niche is going to be farmers markets. Farmers markets, they have a longing for SEO, Google My Business, maybe social media, a good website, good delivery system, right? Those are online services that they would need. Or maybe blogs, email marketing. But augmented reality doesn't necessarily link with that. However, if your niche is gaming, right? And you want to help gaming companies and you want to work online for them it might be super cool to learn augmented reality. And of course, social media. Now, if you're going to work for coaches and consultants, they need advertising, right? So I want you can do research about this. You can find blogs, articles, podcasts, the industry that you like. Within that, what services are most popular? What do they need? Write that down and now look at it. And of course, estimate which ones align most with your current skills. And it doesn't have to align 100% because we can totally do this as newbies. But I mean more, are you a creative person? Cool, then maybe social media management is cool because you can design content, etc. Do you hate design and you're really not good at that, but you are an amazing writer? Okay, then maybe email marketing or copywriting could be really good for you. Do you love technology? Maybe then web design is good for you. Do you love analytics, right? Okay, so you see, like you can look at what core talents and interests do I have already and how can I link that to something? If you really don't know, no worries at all, then I tell you to actually get started on all of them. And just practice and try and do a few practice briefs and projects and see what you enjoy the most. Because again, we have to like it, okay? Now that we have linked our passion to a niche, we analyze what services they need and we identify the skills that we have to learn in order to be able to provide those services. Now I want us to build a personal brand. Why? Personal brand is a lifelong investment, is a lifelong asset because it can grow with you. So we can build this out now around, for example, freelancing, and it can grow with us when we build an agency, with us when we build info products, with us when we build software, right? A personal brand is so strong because you are the front end, not the product. And therefore, if your interests change, you can change your business with it in a very smooth way. So building a personal brand is hands down the best investment and asset that you can have in 2024. Now, personal brand, it is good that we are going to build this a bit around our customer avatar. So the dream client. So let's say, again, let's go back to art. If we chose artist as our sub niche, then an artist in New York is our dream client. What would this person like to see? How can they relate to us? What language should we use to talk to them? Do market research and analyze what colors are common, what shapes, which symbols, what logos. Look at your competitors. And based on this, develop a personal brand which preferably has something of your name in it, right? So it could be marketing by Jet for artists, right? Something like that. Okay. So it has your name in it. And then you're going to make a logo, you're going to make colors, and you can just make a simple brand board. Okay. But the point is that we want something that they can relate to and that they can look at our page and at our brand and that they feel inside that you have this intuition. Yes, that person is for me. Or no, it's not for me. Example, if your niche is lawyers or law firms. And guys, this is just a general observation. Don't come for me. But it might work less to have a pink brand with rainbow colors, curly fonts, super cute stuff. It might work better to have a very professional, more luxurious looking logo and brand. Whereas if you're going to work with female coaches or female entrepreneurs, come with me with use pink, use colors, use cuteness, okay? So again, it does matter. Your brand should actually filter. It should have the right people say, hell yes. And it should have the people that you don't want to work with say, no, that's not for me. That's what a good brand would do. And of course, you want to add flavor of yourself into it. But I would think about it like if your favorite color is pink, but it doesn't fit your niche, then, you might want to find a different pink tone that relates more to the dream client you want to attract and that they will see and be like, this is for me. This brand is for me. Now, step number 4, now that we have some brand direction, we're going to set up our social media channels. We're going to create assets like proposal templates, email templates, all of this stuff, so that when we reach out and communicate with clients, we're a very cohesive brand and we're professional. So set up your socials and start posting. And really, don't overthink this. Research your competitors. And you can even find blog posts, podcasts, which are like the top 10 things that artists have to do to grow on social media. And you can use that information to make carousels and to make reels. And right now, carousels and reels perform the best. Create. Don't overthink. It is about quantity over quality. Because we're testing, you're learning these skills of social media management maybe for the first time. And I want you to just go for it. Remember this. Imperfect action over perfect inaction. It is better to do something than to do nothing at all. So I just want you to start posting. And then you start analyzing which posts perform well, which ones do well. You create more of that and you stop creating the things that didn't perform well. And in this way, you're going to learn because again, there are a billion skills out there. There's a bazillion tools out there. AI, everything, every day it's changing. So if you're going to be like, no, Jet, but I cannot start because I have to learn everything first. Darling, it is not possible to learn everything. That is imposter syndrome talking to you. There is not some magical sauce that you don't know about. There's a few general principles like social media skills, copywriting skills that you can learn in a short time. Then you take what you learn and you start to practice. You start to actually take action. And from those experiences, that's where you get true mastery. And not from reading about it. Doing is what's going to give you true mastery. So what I say is the most important skill to learn is the ability to learn new skills. That is the most important skill to learn in 2024. Set up the channels, create some assets, and let's go, okay? Now that we've done that, we can start to find beta clients. So beta clients are generally smaller clients that you give a discount so that you can practice, build your portfolio, and get testimonials. Where can I find beta clients? You can already do this by looking around you. So let's say you love art. Okay, why do you love art? Maybe you have been to art galleries in your hometown or in your city. Maybe you know artist friends, or even like I said, your parents could be artists. So start offering these people your services. Either I would prefer at a discount. I don't believe in free work because you are still worth the time that you put into it. But yes, you could even do a few for exchanges or for free and build your portfolio and get these first small clients in. Otherwise, just look in your hometown or in your city and start reaching out to those business owners that align with your niche. Okay, so land some beta clients. That's the first step. Now that we've done that, we keep working with these beta clients. And if you do it right, they could even end up becoming your high ticket clients, right? Because they love working with you. Now, step number 6 is that we are going to start lead generation. And lead generation, there are so many ways to do this. But first, already it's important that you have some posts online. Now from there are different lead generation strategies we can take. So the first one is, of course, social media lead generation. We can start reaching out to our ideal customers on Instagram, building rapport with them, building a relationship, and seeing how we can serve them without being salesy. The second way is, of course, we could do cold email pitching. We could do cold calling. And we can use platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, Contra, etc. And of course, we can actually go on there and start applying for projects and connecting with the right people in our niche. LinkedIn is also a really good platform to be on. Generally, for socials, I say Instagram, reaching out to people, Facebook, being in the right groups around your niche, and LinkedIn, you can literally find you can filter by the profession of the business owner you're trying to find, right? So I can literally type in artists and find a whole list of people who are artists in my area and reach out to them. Then we, of course, want to book calls, discovery calls, so that we can explain our services to them and how we can work together and close them on preferably a 6-month package, if not 12 months. What comes with step number 7 is not just landing these clients, but it's also the client experience. So you need to make sure that you have good systems so that you can give the most amazing client experience. Why? Because then they want to A, stay with you, B, they might want to actually take more services of you, which could be a cross-sell or an upsell. And C, they will refer you to other people in their community and network. So having the good client experience is crucial. Now that you have your first high-ticket clients, you can literally replace your 9-to-5. And you can finally be free and work for yourself. Step number 8, now that you're on a roll, because the first client is the hardest, guys, trust me on this, get more clients. And once you feel like, okay, I don't have the capacity anymore, that's when you're not going to stop with lead generation. That's when you're not going to stop taking on clients. But this is when you're going to start hiring people. And now you can scale to an agency, okay? And I could do a whole video, podcast, whatever, about building an agency. But definitely hire your first team member, scale to an agency, and you can definitely bring that to 6 figures, right? Now, step 9, and this is important to know. Now, once you're good at your skill, because you've had many clients now, you've had much feedback, practice, only then I recommend you to start info products. I'm going to tell you why. I do not think you should teach something if you don't have at least 1 year experience or have made 6 figures. Because you just don't have enough experience. Sorry, this is my opinion, guys. You just don't have enough experience to create a course if you have not even yourself been successful significantly. And if you yourself have not gone through failures and lessons and actually been in it for longer than a year. Guys, I started with courses and coaching programs after I told you I've been working online for 7 years. I've had an agency for 5 years, okay? I know what I'm talking about. I live, eat, breathe, shit this stuff, you know? So I do feel like I'm qualified, and I make multiple 7 figures. So I'm very qualified to teach you how to make 3 to 5K per month. In my programs, you will never hear me say, I can help you to become a 7-figure owner. No, because I have not been a 7-figure owner for multiple years. I've just recently become that. Okay. So I call this a 10% rule. I think you can only teach to others 10% of what you are capable of. That's a safe margin. You cannot teach someone to be exactly like you. That is just not feasible. Let's say that's not feasible on the larger scale. Maybe you can teach a few people, but not thousands of people. Okay, so anyways, that's the point. Yes, 7 figures, you can go there with building info products such as ebooks, courses, assets, templates. How could this look like for you? If you are in the art niche, you have a successful agency, you're helping so many artists to grow their business and sell more art. Okay, maybe make templates for them, post templates which can serve the lower level of artists that maybe can't afford your services yet. Now, then after that, maybe you want to make courses now to help artists do their own marketing, which again could be for the lower level of people that cannot afford your marketing services, but they do want to learn from you. They do want to do it themselves. And then the higher level, you could make a mastermind and help people really one-on-one to scale their art business. If you are really working online successfully now, like I said, 7 figures, then I believe you can teach other people to also work online and learn a skill, etc., etc. But again, I strongly disagree that if you haven't done it for a long time and don't have a lot of proof, that you should just start teaching people random stuff. First, get so good at what you do, it's undeniable. And then think about the 10% rule. You can teach others 10% of what you do. So if you just started to make 5K per month, you shouldn't be teaching others to make 5K per month. If you just started to make 50K per month, okay, then now I feel like you could be qualified to teach people to make 5K, right? Once I'm at 500K, yes, then maybe I could teach people to make 50K per month. 10% rule. Now, the conclusion of all of this is that going from being a freelancer, which can be your first step out of your 9 to 5, you have the potential with these same digital skills to scale to an agency and to scale this into multiple passive courses, coaching programs, assets, templates, ebooks, right? All with the same digital skill. So I want to encourage you that you too can become a millionaire. It is not going to be overnight, but the first step you can take if you are a complete newbie is to become a freelancer. And the best way to do that is to do something you love, so to link your niche to your passion. Now, if you would love to learn how to do that and really get held by the hand, go through this process step by step with coaches, workshops, then feel free to check the show notes and book a free 50-minute call with me and my team so that we can discover and explore whether freelancing could be something for you and how exactly you could join our program. I can't believe this is my first podcast episode for restarting this podcast. So if you loved any of the things that I was saying, I would love to get your feedback on this episode. I would love it if you could follow, of course, my podcast so that you get any future updates. And remember, it's better to be a lion for a day than a sheep your whole life. Lots of love.